This episode is brought to you by Honda. When you test drive the all-electric Prologue SUV, there's a lot that could impress you about it. There's the generous passenger space, the clean, thoughtful design, and the intuitive technology. But out of everything, what you'll really love most is that it's a Honda. Visit honda.com/EV to see offers.
Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for this day.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
From the Fifth Quarter Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to Coach Unplugged. And now, your host, Steve Collins.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Coach Unplugged. I'm so happy you decided to join us today. Before we jump into the podcast, I'd like to give a big shout out to our two sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish, the number one shooting machine on the market. We own 3 of them, and I can tell you personally, even before they became sponsors, their customer service is second to none. Every time I've had any issues with any of my machines, going back to the way old ones, they've always taken really good care of me. Also, go over and check out teachhoops.com. Oh, and mention us, and they'll give you $450 off. Mention Coach Collins or Coach Unplugged, they'll give you $450 off. Also, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. We always tell our players that they should be working on their craft. I challenge you to work on your craft. Come over, join a community of like-minded coaches who want to make this game better. It's the reason I started Teach Hoops, is to help pay the bills for all these podcasts, but even more importantly, to give back to this great game that has given me so much. And to set up a roadmap for you to be successful, not only on the court, but off the court. And we offer a 14-day free trial. So come over and kick the tires around, see if you like it. And let's head off the podcast.
All right. Welcome. Kermit the Frog. And you don't think I sound like Kermit the Frog, Coach?
Yeah. I mean, now that you say that, I guess I'm so used to it during the basketball season.
I know. This is so bad. It's so bad.
Loud gym, right, Coach? You're not yelling. It's just a loud gym.
It's not. It's a cold. That's what it is.
Oh, is it?
It's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the parents notice it though. Like when they talk to me and stuff, they can. I have a deep voice anyway, but this makes it progressively worse.
Yeah, you have a great voice for podcasting.
Yes, but not when it's like raspy and I sound like I smoke two packs a day or something this time of year. But anyway, before we jump into the topic, we want to give a big shout out to our checklist, right? First, our season checklist.
One of the things that came up in our surveys was, when do you start planning for the next season? And the overwhelming majority of coaches start planning right after the last season. And I think that's, get a jump on your season planning. Go to coachingyouthhoops.com/season-checklist. We created a very large checklist for you that literally has everything you need to plan your season. It'll give you fresh ideas, thoughts of what you need to look at, from everything from offense to defense to all the parent information and post evaluations and tryout evaluations, everything. So go to coachingyouthhoops.com/season checklist. And game
and what else?
changer.
There you go.
So
go
to gc.com/coachingyouthhoops, one of our favorite apps and tracking apps for youth coaches. It's free to you. And now that we're coming up into the spring and summer AAU seasons, go check that out. It'll give you all the stats you need if mom and dad, grandma can't be at the game. They also have live streaming. Go to gc.com/coaching youth hoops for more information.
All right. So what are we going to talk about? You already kind of tweaked it a little bit here about the parent forum. I know I do.
Yeah.
Forum.
This came up in a Facebook discussion, our Facebook group discussion. If you're not on our Facebook group, it's a lot of great questions and answers on it from coaches from around the world with lots of experience. Like this one guy today had 40 years of coaching. It's a long time.
It is a long time. Yes.
Anyway,
not quite.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. He anyway, this I wish I had this idea. He was talking about how to cut down on parent complaints.
Okay.
And one of the things that he does is he asks for parent expectations before the season starts. What's important to you? What's important to, what's important for what your child needs to accomplish this season? Some open-ended questions, some ratings. But I thought that was a great idea from that perspective. Like ask the parents what they expect. So when a problem arises, you can go back to them and say, well, you told me that fun was the number one thing,
Right.
right? And not playing time, this, that, or the other. And if you're using Game Changer, you can see how much playing time each child has. It's another way to cut down on parent complaints. Record every game. So I don't know how you feel about that. I don't know if you've done that, very specifically, not just for your players, but for the parents.
Yeah, I mean we've always done that in our pre-season meeting. We've always handed out kind of player expectation, parent expectations, and then kind of had them fill out a form of kind of what's expected for what they expect and what we expect. So and then that tends to take care of a lot of the communication or lack of communication. So yeah, I mean we've always done that, and especially with a player and parent expectations, what is expected of a parent in the stands and blah blah blah, and then what's expected of the player, and then we talk about rules and all that kind of stuff too. But I think over communication is the way to go in all of this.
Yeah. Talk to me though, but what is since this is really about kind of focused on parents and set in getting their expectations for their player, what is on that, some of the things on that list for parents? And one of the things you brought up was coaching from the stands. That's on my list, right? Don't coach from the stands. But
Yep. And then
why?
It's
right? And then what do you do if they're coaching from the stands? And what are some of the other things on that checklist of yours?
So we talk about, expectations about their player, like what do we expect academically? How can they support their player academically? How can they support them with nutrition and sleep and and phones and curfew and all those things? So we talk about being that.
You're talking about high school players too, just
players.
To be clear.
We are. And then we also talk about the expectations after a game. I go, and I use.
What do you mean about expectations after a game?
A couple things. We have a 24-hour rule where they can't, they shouldn't talk to
parents can't.
Parents,
okay.
yes.
Yeah.
But what they should be saying, I literally walk them through what they should be saying to their athlete.
You do? Oh, yeah.
Like, don't talk about not pivoting on the right foot. Talk about, hey, did you have fun? What'd you think? Let them process it a little bit. Don't coach them,
Yeah.
So, that's more for off-season kind of things. So we talk about that. And then we talk about, kind of things that they can do outside of the basketball. Like we talk about team bonding, parent dinners, things that they can do to help build a cohesive group. Because that's what I'm ideally want is that they're friends 10 years from now. That's what I tell the parents. I want them to still be, they're not all 15 of them going to be best friends, but they're going to be enough that, they're acquaintances at least, or they see each other and they can talk and catch up. And so we talk about how we can build kind of that community. And that's a big one for me, is because it's hard, because at any point on any team, there's like two happy people.
At any point,
Because
at any team, you're saying there's only two
players,
happy people?
yeah,
Players,
because
yeah.
the fifth player thinks they should be the third player, and the
Mm.
second, like the seventh player thinks they should be starting. I mean, again, I'm a math person. It's like,
Yeah.
and happy is probably not the right word, but they're always, yeah. So it's like kind of fitting into their world is where I'm trying to help them process
Yeah.
that. And then the last thing I talk about is kind of how this is like, we're trying to teach them life lessons about fitting into a specific, and I don't put this necessarily on the form, but I definitely do it on the conversation about part of growing up is figuring out where you fit and how you fit. And it's like a workplace thing. You got to fit into a group where you're not always going to get along with everyone, and you're not always going to see eye to eye, and you're not always going to agree with the decisions your boss makes or your coach makes.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? What do you do about it? And how do you adjust to it? And those kind of things. So I talk to the parents about, like, how can you help your player do that? Because that's part of the growth that I think youth and team sports help a lot with.
Yeah, and I think that's, and again, I don't want to go down in that tangent, and we can talk about that in another podcast. Um, but I think that's what's missing in youth sports are the life lessons, especially travel ball, right? That seems to kind of taken a different path, right? Um, but okay, going back to the expectations, or let's say if they're well, let's finish this discussion on expectations. So again, parent expectations of their child. What are you hoping to see on that form uh, back from parents? If it's an open-ended, or even if it's like if you're asking them, rank these things in order. So they'll think those things might be playing or what's important to you, playing time, fun, they learn
Right.
some skills, life lessons, etc.
So before we do that, let's give a big shout out to Game Changer Coach before we dive into that topic.
Yeah, coaches, go check out gc.com/coaching youth hoops for all of your stats needs, in-game stats, post-game analysis, and even they do live game streaming. So parents, grandparents can see the game if they can't be in the stands. Go check it out at gc.com/coaching youth hoops.
All right. So what am I looking for? I'm not, to be honest with you. I want to see what they think, because different groups have different feels. It's really weird.
Okay.
Um,
Talk to me,
so
dive into that a little bit more. What does that mean? Like, what have you seen in your 40 plus years?
thanks, making me feel old. I've seen the competitive groups. I've seen the
Mm,
team building groups. I've seen I just want
mm,
my son to feel good about. I mean, it's just, and I don't tend to do a range. I tend to do more open-ended questions because I want them to be
hmm
able to free flow. Um, so that's where I can get kind of more of a sense of where are we.
Okay. Yeah.
And especially, where's the difference between and again, high school, a senior parent and a sophomore parent.
Mm-hmm.
The sophomore parent maybe is just happy they're on the team and maybe get on the court. Senior parent wants. So I'm trying to gauge, because their gauge in the play, I tend to get a truer input sometimes from the parents and the player.
Okay.
It's weird in that sense of where they kind of sit and what they're kind of looking at. So it's kind of, again, I'm taking data dump rather than a scale. I'm not necessarily looking for a scale.
You're for a
I might
scale.
do the
Yeah.
scale at the youth level for sure, though, with a
Why?
fun, I
What,
mean, I would do both, I think.
both. Yeah. But why,
Yeah,
why do you think more at the
because ours
youth
is,
level for the scale?
the fun is, kind of there's a difference between travel ball and high school ball. It's like,
Hmm
it's There just is, and no one's
Mhm.
paying to play for me. There's a consequence,
Yeah.
there's a thing there when you pay to play, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Um, and there's some expectations I think that come along with I'm spending $5,500.
Halliday presents in the red corner the undisputed, undefeated weed whacker guy, champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistant's assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
My kid not going to play. Where in a high school team, there's maybe a user's fee, but it's a high school, it's like,
Right.
It's a little different in that sense. So I think how you set up these forms would look a little bit different.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that totally makes sense. So at the youth level, then, come on, more of a rating with open-ended questions. Uh, do you think? Well, then, how do you use it? So, um, again, let's go back to your example of, because this is one of mine too, like parent expectations. Don't coach from the stands. I brought that up in the parent meeting the other day, and I talked about the psychology behind why you don't want to do that. And, I even tell the girls, I said, you're going to make a mistake in a game. I don't want you looking up at mom or dad. If you look up at mom or dad, I'll tell you like, hey, look at me. We have this whole thing about the red dot and the next play and how you overcome those types of challenges. Uh, but if you're looking at your parents and your parents are coaching from the stands, I'll just, I'll make it really easy for your parents to come talk to you by putting you on the bench. Come down and they can talk to you all they want in your ear and whisper and you can do the rest of the game from the bench. I just think it's gets so confusing for the kids that you have to kind of get drastic in that. I don't know what your thoughts are.
No, I agree. I mean, and again, it's hard. It's hard. Some of
Mhm.
these, especially when they're young, they don't know. Like the young,
Right.
young player, younger parents, but they just don't. What are expectations? They just want to know where they kind of fit. I think is a big part of it. Don't you think?
I'm curious. This is more from my curiosity. Do you find any less or more coaching from the stands from parents who have played at a higher level versus those that have not?
I don't think there's a correlation there. I
Okay.
don't. Um, I think there's an investment correlation. The ones that
Okay.
have spent more time developing their son or daughter, or that, I
Mm,
think that's a bigger correlation than one of
that's
because I've had
interesting. Yeah.
parents that have played and not I mean, I
Yeah.
played and I never I mean, this is my son's thing,
Yeah.
but there's people, I think it's more of it's weird. It's an investment. It's investment in time. It's an investment in money. It's an investment. I think there's more of that correlation where it tends to escalate the coaching from the stands. That's what
Hmm.
I've seen.
Hmm.
Again, purely observational study from the
Yeah.
stands teacher. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and I'd love to say that, hey, go to this URL to download our parent evaluation or parent feedback. Because I'm creating mine right now. Like I don't have it all thought through, and I haven't really done it specifically for parents. I've done it for players. It's probably not going to be too much different, but um, it's gonna. This topic was important because I wanted to. Because I think it's something that we should think about as coaches to get those expectations from parents as well as the players. What do you want to accomplish, right?
Right.
Um, for
I
both
agree.
sides. So,
All right, so let's give a summary of that, Coach.
Yeah, so I think again, going back, I think it's important to ask those questions of parents, ask them what their expectations are. It can be just a simple, Google form that says, what are your expectations for your player? Open-ended questions. You can, ask them to rate certain things that you feel are important, but also kind of the written expectations from you. One of the things we talked about is, don't coach from the stands, right? Get your players to the practice on time, because we have limited practice time. Make sure they're, fully clothed, they have their shoes and they have a ball, right? Those types of things. And then whatever else you believe in as a organization, for us, as Coach mentioned too, community is a big thing, leadership, right? I try to empower my kids. So whatever those things are, just keep it short, tight, and but now if you gather that info, now you have something you can use when issues do come up.
No, that's and we've said this a multitude of times, over communicate.
Yeah.
Over communicate. It will solve 97% of your problem. It won't solve 3%, but it will solve 97. All right, till next week, Coach.
Till next week.
Hey, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you want to hear other podcasts by Coach Collins, go over and check out High School Hoops and Teacher Side Gig, and then go over and subscribe to all of them and leave all of them 5-star reviews. That would be great. And then if you have 30 seconds after that, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. Have a great day.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Memorial Day doorbuster deals are here at Lowe's. Right now, Rewards members save $80 on the Master Forge 4-burner gas grill, now just $149. Plus, Rewards members save $900 on the Lowe's exclusive Hisense French door refrigerator, now only $999. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 5/26. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at Lowe's.com/terms. Subject to change.